Hello and welcome to another Online Business Realm video. If you like the videos we do on our channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date. So today we're going to be talking about Page Builder by Site Origin. It is a WordPress plugin that is going to allow you to create a layout for your website that looks great. So as you can see here, I am on SuzanneCollinsBooks.com. This is the website for the author Suzanne Collins. You may know her from her most famous works, the Hunger Games series. It was obviously turned into a huge movie series, making millions of dollars. This is an author that is not a self-published author. She is a multi-million-dollar author. And she, as you can see, has a website for herself. This is not a fan website of hers. This was also not a website that was created the first year of the internet, even though it kind of looks like that. The layout for this website is atrocious. You'll see the pink sidebar over here looks terrible. You'll see the menu is very small and you can't even really see it. And then you'll see the layout of the actual page itself. We have this random text over here in this left corner. We have this image that it's not centered. It may be centered on the page, but it's not centered in here in this area. And then we have this image down here that looks like it's left aligned with text, and it just looks terrible. I would not recommend anyone visit this website if they're looking for good ways to create a web design. So how can we avoid a layout such as this and be able to make a website that looks beautiful? So one way that you can do it is with a visual composer. There are several visual composers out there, but I am a big proponent of Site Origin Page Builder. It is robust, but yet simple. It is user-friendly, also newbie-friendly to people who don't really, or who are not super well-versed in web design. So how do we get this onto your site and how do we use it? Well, the first thing you need to do is go over here to plugins and go down to add new. Already clicked it here. And then you would just come up here to the keyword box and type in Site Origin and hit enter. When you do that, these are the first two things that are going to pop up. We are going to want to get both of these plugins. So you would click install now on both of these and then hit activate. You can also activate them on the plugins list after you've installed them by clicking activate, which I had to deactivate to show you, but you would just click activate and there it is. So what does this plugin look like in action and how do we get started with it? Well, if you come over here to pages and go to add new, which I've already done here, I'm going to show you. So we're going to call this test page. And now, as you can see here, there are 3 tabs. Usually, there would only be 2, visual and text. Visual is the visual editor for WordPress. It is very simple. You're not going to be able to create incredible layouts here. This is probably something similar to what Suzanne Collins used to create this work of art, if you will. So, but what are some of the drawbacks of just using the visual tab? Well, we're not going to be able to kind of create different blocks within this visual editor without doing complicated coding. We're not going to be able to create, let's say we wanted to do white text with a green background and then we wanted to have a white background with some images underneath it. You're not going to be able to create a layout like that with this visual tab. So the text tab is HTML. So if you know HTML and you're able to use it, then you can do that here. But usually your theme is going to limit, even with HTML, the type of layout you can make here. So to do the kind of layout that I was referring to with having like a green background and then a white background underneath it, you would have to get into the back end of your website and do the coding there. Well, as a website designer, I don't ever actually like to use my WordPress or to leave my WordPress login. I like to stay on site, do everything on site, not have to go into the page manager, the site manager, anything like that on the back end and do coding. So that's where Page Builder comes in. So you click the Page Builder tab. Now, it is also important to note that once you go to Page Builder, you can't really go back to the visual or the text tab. If you click here and go to revert to editor As you see, it says, would you like to clear your page builder content and revert to using the standard visual editor? Well, in the process of going from page builder back to the visual tab, you're going to lose your layout. So I don't ever suggest doing that. So once you're ready to use page builder on a page, you need to stick with that. So we have three options here in the middle part. You can add a widget, add a row, or a pre-built layout. So if we added a widget, it's going to give us all of the possibilities that we could put here. Now, the ones with the blue gear next to them, these are all part of the site origin widgets bundle. So I pretty much exclusively use the editor. I can do anything I need to do within the editor. I don't really need anything else, but certainly go ahead and explore them if you would like to. So usually the way that I start is with a row. But before we go there, I'm going to click pre-built layout here and show you. If you're going to have a button up here that's going to pop up where you're going to have to enable the layouts to see these. But once you do, you'll see there are some layouts here you can click. We're going to show you a little bit more how to use these in another video. But one thing that you can do is clone page. Now, I use this a lot when I create a layout for a page and I want to create a similar layout for all of my pages. So let's say I had an image that I wanted to be at the bottom of every page of my website. When I got ready to start a new page, I would go to the page builder layouts and hit clone page and just pick one of the pages that has the layout that I want, and then I would hit insert. And you can insert it after what you already have on the page, before, or replace current. So what I would usually do is hit insert after and put the layout at the bottom of the page I've currently constructed. So that way I have the same look and same feel to every page. But right now, I'm going to show you how to set up with a row. I think that's the easiest way to get started with this. So you click row, and you can change how many blocks you want on your row. You can have one large block, you can have 2 blocks, you can have 3. Then if you click here, you can change and do different kinds of percentages to have different kinds of layouts. So let's say you had 2 and you wanted, say, to have a small icon on the left and then text on the right. Well, what you would do is you would select something like the diagon here, and then you would hit right to left and it would switch. And now 30% of your page width is going to be the icon, and then the bulk is going to be the text. So that's a pretty common way to lay things out. So let's look over here at row styles. You have different options. You have attributes. I don't really use those at all. You have layout and design. So for layout, you can, let's say that we wanted there to be some space between the text here in our row and, let's say, an image we had above it. To do that, you would just come here to padding, and you would make sure at the top that it had, let's say, 50 pixels. Now when you type 50 in here, it's going to turn the rest of these boxes into 50. So if you just want 50 at the top, you would have to delete the extra ones. And now we have space or padding above our box. Now here for row layout, this is something really big, because just as website design has evolved, it's constantly evolving. People don't use sidebars as much as they used to. So you may want this to go all the way across the page. So in that case, you would use full width stretched, and it would span the entire page, not just the standard area. So I don't really use these other collapse orders, collapse behaviors. For your person who's just beginning website design, this row layout is and the padding is probably going to be all you're going to use here. And then design, you can change the color. So this is where it would come in handy, what I was referring to, where you would want a green background. So let's say we wanted this background to be green. Okay. You can also use an image in the background. I don't really use the border color too much, but you could put a border around it if you wanted to. And let's go here to layout, and let's call this full stretch, full width stretched. Okay, so now we have our row done. Now let's say we wanted to do another row, but we wanted to make it a different color. So all I would do here is hit duplicate row, and then I would hover over here, over the wrench, and I would hit edit row. This is something I use frequently. You could also easily switch the layout here by just hitting left to right. If you wanted to do, let's say, icon on left, text on right, and then the layer underneath, you want to do icon on right, text on left. But we're going to keep it the same for right now. Now all we would do is we would come here to the design and we would just choose white as the background. I'm going to go ahead and make it blue just to give you a contrast of what this will look like. So now that we have our rows layout, we need to add our widgets. So as I told you, I pretty much exclusively use the site origin editor. So we have this here. Now let's go ahead and add an icon. So I've already got some icons that I've made here. So we're going to add this to the left. Okay. And now you have to keep in mind that this editor is its own block. So what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to center this here. And then I'm going to come here to this side of the box by clicking on it and hitting add widget. And I'm going to add another visual editor. Okay, and I'm just going to put some junk text in here. Okay, now let's increase the size of it here by highlighting the text, and let's change it to heading 1. Okay. Now what we're going to do is you can duplicate the individual widgets. So I'm going to duplicate this widget, and then you can just drag it down to the row underneath. So I'm going to do this same thing here. I'm going to hit duplicate, and then I'm going to drag it down here. I am going to go ahead and switch the layout to left to right. Okay, so now that we have this done, we're going to go ahead and hit save draft. Now, as you see, when it first pops up, it pops up with all this complicated coding, but then it automatically switches back to Page Builder. So you won't have to click that tab again. Just once again, I want to give you a warning about hitting revert to editor. It will mess up your layout. So let's preview and let's see what this looks like. So as you see here, now keep in mind I put that padding, the 50 pixel padding. That's why there's a white space in here. So as you can see, I made one mistake. I need to come back here. I need to actually switch these boxes. So I'm going to move this one over here. I'm going to move this one over here so we have the text on the left and the right. All right, then I'm going to hit preview, and it's going to fix for us here. So there are a lot of ways that I could lay this out a little bit better. I could put in some padding here on the left. I could put some padding on the top of this individual widget. So as you look here, you'll see that while on the row you can edit the row and go to layout and put in the padding, you can also put padding individually in the widget. So we're going to put some left padding here on this widget. So we're going to we want left, so we're going to type in 0. It's going to turn them all into 0, and then let's call it 100 pixels here. There are so many things we can do with done. Page Builder. Now we're going to be showing you a little bit more in some other videos about some tips and tricks you can use to really create absolutely beautiful websites. Obviously what I did here was just very simple, just to give you the run of the land with this plugin. So if you haven't downloaded it, I would suggest go ahead and doing that and getting started. You can create a website top to bottom that looks stunning with this plugin. So if you like our videos and you want to learn more about designing websites, graphic design, online business, internet marketing, cryptocurrency, basically anything that you can make money online with, then please hit subscribe to follow our channel. So until next time, get out there and make some money.